Okay, this is question 14 from GCSE Intermediate Unit 2, paper from November 2005. Okay, let's have a look at this. So at first glance we got a rectangle and they give us the length and width, 26.7, 18.5. Well, I'm starting to think, it could be area, could be perimeter. Let's see. Calculate the length of the diagonal PR of a rectangle, PQRS, alright, that's the one we can see, with sides 26.7 and 18.5. Well, I don't need to underline that because I can see it on the diagram. Now they're helping us out here, because they could just say calculate the length of one of the diagonals, and you need to know where that is. Well, the diagonal of a shape is when you join corner to corner, so they're helping us, because that's what they want us to work out, is that length there. Now, has anybody recognised what this topic is yet? What have we got? If we want to work out this length, we've got two lengths on this diagram, and they do touch this length that we want to work out. Oh, and if we look closely, we have a triangle. And what sort of triangle do we have? We have a right angle triangle, because in the corner of all rectangles is 4 right angles. Okay? So what do we have? We have a right angle triangle. What do we know? What topics do we associate with right angle triangles? Pythagoras' theorem or right angle trigonometry. Right angle triangle trigonometry. SOHCAHTOA. SOHCAHTOA is only to do with angles. So either finding an angle or using an angle on the side to find another side. There's nothing to do with angles in this question. It's just about lengths, so it's got to be Pythag. Okay, so first thing we need to do, if we're going to use Pythagoras' theorem to work out this, is label the sides. Now, the two shorter sides are always A and B. The hypotenuse, which is PR, is always the longest side. Now, A and B, it doesn't matter where you put those. I could have put B there and A there, it doesn't matter. They just are the short sides. C is always the hypotenuse. Always the longest side. Do not label one of the shorter sides C, because you'll end up getting the wrong answer. Now the formula, always write it first. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Whenever using any formula, write it first. Then plug your numbers in and see what you've got. So instead of A squared, I've got 18.5 for A. So that's 18.5 squared. Plus, instead of B, I've got 26.7 squared. Instead of C, I've still got C squared, so I'm going to leave it as C squared. Right, so all I can see now, this is one of the easier types of questions with Pythag, finding the hypotenuse. You just simply work out 18.5 squared and add it to 26.7 squared first. So I'm going to do that on my calculator. I've got 18.5 squared plus 26.7 squared. You can do it in one go. And I've got 1055.14. Just double checking, 1055.14 equals C squared. So when you type this in the calculator, you would simply do 18.5, press the X squared button, plus 26.7, press the X squared button, and on your calculator it should look like that. Then press equals and you get that. 155.14. Okay. Now to work out what C is, this tells us what C squared is, which is basically the area of the square. If I drew a big square off that side C, to work out C we have to do the opposite of squaring, which is square root. So we do the square root of 1055.14 and that will equal C. Okay, on my trusty calculator, I can see it. Square root of 1055.14. Press equals. I get 32. Now, because these are to one decimal place, I'm going to round my answer to one decimal place. It doesn't tell me to round it, but that's what I'm going to do. If in doubt, just write out the whole thing. Now, I've got 32.48291859. So I write that down. 32, and write it all down. 48291859 equals C. Now I'm going to round that to one decimal place to match the numbers in the question. So up to first decimal place is 0.4, and because the 8 is 5 or more, it rounds up to 0.5. And that is meters, and I've got to say in brackets what I've rounded to, one decimal place, and that equals, to finish, PR, because C is the side from P to R. Underline my answer, and there we have it. So this was a Pythagoras theorem question, but it was slightly hidden, and it's a classic type of question where they ask you to do the diagonal rectangle, because you have this naturally occurring right angle triangle when you split a rectangle in two. Okay, so just to recap, label the sides first. A and B are always the shorter sides, always. C is always the hypotenuse, the longest side, and it's always opposite the right angle, that is. Write the formula first. Plug the numbers in that you know from your diagram. Then you can see what to do. In this case, work out that left-hand side first. The last thing you always do with Pythagoras theorem is find the square root to find the length of the side. Okay, thank you very much.